Soul Garden.
Hello Soul Healers and welcome to Soul Horoscopes Weekly Edition. I'm your host of the universe, Christopher Witecki. And this week's free horoscope is sponsored by Soulmart.me, where we have the new 2012 Act 2 videos available for download and immediate purchase. Navigate down. Now I get deep on April, May, and June. We talk about Saturn retrograde and money and the long-term transits of Neptune and Uranus and Aries. This is where we can get longer form, usually 13 to 15 minutes long and super affordable, $4.95. So check it out. And check out the garden, soulgarden.me, where we have a whole community of support for the Virgos. This week the Virgos are talking about whether or not their ruling planet is Chiron or Mercury. That's written by Jenny Watson. She's actually our village chief, and she works heavily in the Virgos because she is one. But anyways, come on down and register with us so we can send you an email if shift hits the fan. Now, this month, you're working on boundaries, a sensitive part really, and kind of a natural consequence of all this relationship work you've been doing. Obviously, at some point, you're going to look at trust and boundary issues. And that is indeed what the Virgos are looking at. Where you're comfortable with standing up for yourself, not standing up for yourself, and you're probably in virgin territory because the huge conjunction of Sun-Uranus just started off this really 8-year, 9-year, 10-year innovation of how close you get to yourself and others. So this is where we are. When we start on Monday, there might be a breakdown, unfortunately, and you might really feel it, unfortunately, because the moon is in Leo. So emotions are on subconscious, past life, old karma, old wounds, old fears. That's where your emotions are to begin with. Then the universe pulls the rug out from under you when it comes to a trust or intimacy issue. So you might have a little bit of a scare, a little turbulence, almost feel like you fell, so to speak. Or you might find out something that you're grateful for knowing, but at the same time you wish you had one of those. Mercury is still retrograde, so you are still backpedaling and thinking about relationships at the same time as boundaries. And that theme will continue for a few days here. Now on Tuesday, it's breakthrough day. Mercury rules the day, although still retrograde, but you're going to have an inside-out look one more time at all of this, relationships, and how did you get, betrayed, what happened yesterday with boundaries, what was that all about, basically. The moon, though, does come out of hiding and come into your ego, so personality gets a boost. I think you feel more passionate about yourself. There might be a little moment of rage or repressed anger when the moon crosses Mars, or someone may not want to cross you when the moon crosses Mars, but it is a kind of a little bit of a lesson also. You're still reconsidering how much Virgo 2.0 you put out there or not with the Mars retrograde. It's something I talk a lot about really in the Act 2 videos. But Tuesday you might be stirred, and of course Mercury's ruling the day, so we're pensive. But it's a decent day. A decent day. Now don't forget we have office hours available, which is our free community service where our Soulmart practitioners will answer a 15-minute question for you on webcam if you have a webcam at 11 a.m. Pacific. That's on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come check us out. We're here to be at your service. In fact, you might see Jenny there. She does it too. Then on Wednesday, Venus rules the day and really begins to restore balance and order. At the same time, Mercury is direct. That's good. So thoughts go forward. We start to pull out of the sluggishness of everything. It's time to restore balance and order to boundaries or trust. So if there's been a betrayal in this transit or a lie's come out or someone's crossed the line, why don't you try to make peace on this day, because you can't have a sensitive boundary and try to invent boundaries at the same time. Venus moves into Gemini, and that's going to shift where you begin to receive. You're going to now start receiving in your career, legacy, control. But before you do, you've got some fears to resolve. That's what the these red lines are. On the one hand, fears between your career ambition and relationship goals. On the other hand, fears between your career and your ego. How much you put yourself out there. Can you be strong enough? Do you have it? Can you make the long distance? Those sorts of things. So these fears begin to resolve themselves on Wednesday, but at least Mercury's direct, so maybe we're seeing it for the first time, and the moon is still in Virgo, so you're feeling empowered and passionate. On Thursday, we log in. Neptune rules the day, so it's time to be more psychic. Your psychic state of awareness is your ruling awareness that day. With the issue with Neptune, which is trying to whisper in your ear about where to be in relationships, right? You might work out this fear here between relationships and career, since Neptune's ruling the day and it's a strong Neptune day. The moon shifts into Libra and begins to go full on Thursday, so this is the beginning of a big 48-hour period where you're going to do some release, and what starts to happen is you become sensitive to your self-esteem, or sensitive to your wallet, or sensitive to what you're manifesting, or sensitive to your projects, sensitive to your babies in that sense of what you've made and produced. So that sensitivity starts on Thursday. For those of you who are watched over by the guardian agency, I'm going to be offering a new feature here, which I'm super excited about, called Past Life with Texts. This is where I go back to your natal chart and pull some past life facts out about you and throw them up on a Neptune day. Who knows, it might be relevant to what you're processing. Then we move to Friday, full moon Friday actually. This is a special Friday, a more intense Friday, because the moon will be full in Libra. Now, if you've been watching Soul Guard, you know the truth. A full moon is a wolf in sheep's clothing, beautiful in the sky, but it's tearing us apart. That's because we're in a tug-of-war between two sides of ourself. On the one hand, you are very emotional about what you deserve and what you're worth. And you may need to get that emotional to draw some hard boundaries, okay? At the same time, it could go vice versa. You might be really emotional about what you're worth because you're carrying emotional baggage that weighs you down and weighs everything down. So if you are wearing the past on Full Moon Friday, take it off. Let that baggage, take it off your shoulders and leave it behind you. You don't want any extra emotional feel that doesn't apply to the moment or the future, right? So get rid of it. At the same time, make the necessary adjustments and decisions, because that's what Friday's about, is the right decisions to really move forward with boundaries and trust. Make the necessary changes that will make you trust yourself and others. Now, don't forget, on Friday we have SG Live with Carolyn Nagel and myself. We do our webcam radio show. We're kind of funny. We're pretty zany. And we've got Zodiac Director Bernadette Morgan as our guest. She's an Aries, so that's why. And she's letting us in on all the Aries secrets. So come on down and listen. And if you can't make it live at 11 a.m. Pacific, well, we do have a recording. You can come see it on the weekend. Then on the weekend, it really is vibrationally a holiday weekend for a lot of reasons. The moon will shift into Scorpio, so you'll get off of your self-esteem horse and get real pensive, mostly Saturday and Sunday. Chatty Saturday, Sunday, pensive Saturday, Sunday, in your own world really, and detached. You want to take action, so you want to enforce whatever those boundaries are on Saturday. On Sunday, you want to chill. That's good. It's Easter anyways. That worked out nicely. But the Sun opposing Saturn does mean a 10-day startup of an opposition. Now, even though emotionally you have this issue of what you're worth and where your boundaries are, you follow through with action and balance for the next 10 days on this issue. And I'll talk more about it, but continuing to balance of where you draw your lines and what does that mean for what you're worth, right? And back and forth and back and forth. Relationships, jobs, business, kids, everywhere. That's kind of be how it rolls. All right, I guess that's all I have. I'll see you in 7 days, Virgo. Thanks for tuning in. Until then, live, love, be.